Hi there, this looks like a short, but it isn't. The reason why it's not a short is it's instructional. I am to understand that this tournament's still going. I've played one 3-minute game of chess only today with my second cup of coffee, a bit late, and I might take a wee slocky of my coffee now. Now, slocky, for those that don't know, means another gulp of coffee. In Dutch, slocky. I've probably got that completely wrong. But anyway, that's me. I really appreciate you coming to this channel. And so this is not a short because it's already reaching 60 seconds, which shorts are cut off there and you can't go any longer than that. And of course, the next door neighbour here in Dunedin has just started a motorbike or something like that. That's just what they call Murphy's Law. Now this would be normally a short, but I think it's good to be not a short. I think it's better to be a little bit longer, even though the format for the screen is that of a short. And you can see that the tournament, the Super Blitz Arena, is almost over. So here we go. I can't pause this because my older laptop doesn't work with the pause button, but I'm told, just as after my introduction of 2 minutes plus, that shorts are not for instructional coaching purposes. They are for entertainment only by an expert. So that's why I'm bringing you a little bit of a longer one. But I'll keep it under, I don't know, under 10 minutes, 9 minutes. So this is just a normal video. So I hope you were able to put up with me with all that ramble and all that sort of stuff. But I do bring you something that I think is very interesting. I want to show you this game, of course. In my games here, I'm going to show you my, if it works. Okay, I'll bring you this game, and I want to show you the end game that occurred with a player that has already lost to me one 3-minute game, I suppose. Now, the thing is with this laptop, this older laptop of mine, is it's very sluggish. So it doesn't perform very well with and in its RAM. So here's this position I'm going to show you, and it's going to show you the end position. Already, it's going to show you the end position. How did I get to this position? So here's the start. I want to rack through, and it's not going to do it for me, you see, but if you bear with me, please just understand that this is my old laptop. My newer laptop is in Christchurch. I did not take it with me to come to Dunedin last week. Now, here we have the starting position for me to show you, can I win this game? And initially it looks like it's probably going to peter out for a draw. When one plays a player that's not as strong as you, according to the rating here, then one can sort of like try to sort of do better in the end game, even though we're completely equal. And even these pawns here on e5 or e4 respectively are good for both players equally. We've both got a supported, connected, passed e-pawn, but they are blockaded reasonably well. If you look at this position, white's best bishop is their light squared bishop, and black's best bishop is their dark squared bishop, which is sort of like fundamental, really. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you as fast as my laptops from 2017 will show you, with 4 GB RAM, which sounds quite a lot for the old days, but it's not for these days. So this is a 3-minute rated blitz game that I actually do win. I want to show you how. Okay, so here we go. King F2, B6. And so far, the laptop is performing well. It's not like I'm trying to rattle out a whole lot of moves. Now, after B6, I intend C5. My opponent played B4, which sort of inhibits my idea of C5. So I play A5 instead. And here, my opponent plays A3. So what I'm doing is I'm actually getting white to, consider placing another pawn on a dark square for them. So I'm actually enticing them to play another pawn onto a dark square for them. Okay? So now it's your move. You're black. Here comes what's the word now? Here comes this is involving you. So I've forgotten the word. I'm not very good with English. And so here comes your chance to find what would be your plan here for black, or even what would be your plan for white. But in this case, we're looking at my position as black, and we're trying to find a good plan for black. So what would that be? As I have another slocky of coffee, Lakabaki coffee, lovely bucket of coffee. I wish it was, because I really love coffee, and the doctor says you should only have 3 a day. And I just remember, I just always remember the certain world's fast Indian, not the world's fast Indian chess player, but the world's fastest Indian on the track, Burt Munro from Invercargill down the road there from Dunedin. And he would say, not on my life, you're not going to stop me going racing just because I've got a little bit of heart problem and all that sort of thing. So anyway, this video is getting a wee bit longer, isn't it? But what I'm wanting to do is ask you what your plan is. And I hope you were able to concentrate with me rambling at you, because that's very, very good for your game. Because when you don't have any ramble to listen to, then you'll play better than when you do, if you get what I mean. So, what's your plan here? And, of course, I'm not going to play perfectly. The computer will, but I'm not. So, if we have a look at this position, we see, yes, as pointed out before, white has a good light squared bishop, and white has a bad dark squared bishop, even though the bishop looks pretty primo. And my best bishop is my dark squared bishop, even though white's got a lot of pawns to try to attack on dark squares. My bishop is best. My best bishop is the dark squared bishop, and the light squared bishop is my weaker bishop. So I set about a plan here, even in 3-minute chess, where I'm left with 44 seconds left, and as I said, I don't play it perfectly. I set about in order to exchange my light squared bishop. So I play King E8, and here comes Bishop A6 already. And here I can actually I can actually win this bishop eventually, because if I now play AB4, and I missed this, by the way, because I was just fixed, fastened, and forget on looking at other things, I can actually trap the bishop by playing probably AB4 and B5, and then I can set about tangling the bishop so that I end up winning the bishop. So I missed that. White could retract their bishop upon AB4, but that would be a completely lost game anyway. And so I can actually, after B5, after AB4, AB4, CB4, I can actually play B5 and King D7 and King B6 and Bishop D7 and King B6 sort of thing, and attack the bishop, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't. I played King D7, Bishop E2. So my opponent probably noticed that. But I'm sticking to my plan, which is very important to do in chess. I'm sticking to my plan. I'm going to play King C7, H3. Here come the pawn moves. Here comes White. White should probably play maybe Bishop G4 or G4 or something like that. But White has to be careful. I'm coming to swap the bishop off. See? So all I'm doing is, as well as I'm stopping advances of White's pawns on the king's side, which whether that's any good or not is another question, but I decided to play G5 here, a preventative move, Bishop F1, so White's sort of just hanging around. White's not really doing something that I'm thinking, oh, I better watch out for that. I'm a bit scared of that. Probably B5 would be a good move for White here. Oh no, it's not. Of course it's not. Maybe BA5 and BA5. I'm not sure what the computer would say, and A4 or something. That was easy, wasn't it? Now, have a look at the light squares of White's camp. They're weak. If H4, I could take the pawn from White, or I can just play G5 support with H6 and continue on my merry way with my king able to enter into the White queen's side and nibble at the dark squared pawns, which ultimately is going to lead to a win, even though I don't think I played it exactly right, because there were some points where I think I have to be careful of. I was in the wrong key. Bishop D2, okay. Now, the computer will give a whole lot of moves here, but I played King B5. In fact, the computer might play A4. Now, King F2 and King C4, King E3, King B3, BA5, BA5, C4. So here comes a point where I have a situation where I'm just going to win a pawn. So I do that. And other lines are probably good as well. But I played this. Maybe A4 is even good. But I played King C4, Bishop A5. So this has let White's bishop out a little bit. But I've got this pawn, you see. Bishop A3. Bishop B6. And not Bishop D8. Excuse me. Not Bishop D8, thinking I'll take that pawn on G5 of blacks for White, as Bishop C1 check, pardon me, excuse me, as Bishop C1 check will relieve White of their dark squared bishop on G5. So there's still tactics, even though we've just got a bishop each, and they're both the same colour. White's bishop is not as good as Black's, but White has still possible defensive chances and that sort of thing. Especially with the passed e pawn that I spoke about earlier on. So white now defends d4, and bishop c1 check comes along, because I just think, why not? But this is where I'm saying that I have to be careful, because now I can even probably lose. I played bishop f4, and I think that black may be met. Black may be met with e6 here now, and I think I've got a lost game. Or I think that I'm going to end up with 5 pawns versus 2, which will probably win anyway. But I'm a little bit lucky here, as bishop f4, I think that e6 is probably a good move, and bishop d6, and then bishop c5, although, yeah, what actually happens after that? I think I do just lose then, because I'm going to have to sacrifice. I think I lose. So there you go. I think I've actually got a lost game after e6, because after e6, bishop d6 comes bishop c5, and the threat is bishop takes bishop. And if bishop takes bishop for black, then simply dc5, and I can't stop the pawn from running. Even though I've got some monster pawns, I can't stop the pawn from running. So that's what I like about this, is I wouldn't like this in a real game where my opponent plays e6 now and then spongs me, swindles me, sort of thing, because bishop c1 to bishop f4 is a blunder. Now I'm lost. I have to keep this bishop. This bishop needs to keep on this diagonal, if that's turning up on the score. Anyway, onwards and upwards, king f2. So I've realized that now, and even so, I still play this move with an idea of bishop c5, and of course the bishop e5. And that's the end of this session, which was kind of instructional, and it's instructional to me too, because here I thought I could still save it, but I can't actually save it if black was met with the correct move by white. So that's chess. I thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you watching. All the best with your chess, no matter where it's at. And the thing I did yesterday was I went to Oamaru, which is 110, 115 kilometres north of Dunedin, where the South Island Chess Championships are being held, with the real chess players of the country or of the South Island participating in that, comparative to that of your host. Thank you very much, and all the best with your chess, no matter where it's at, and primarily try to enjoy it. Bye for now.